SKOL Vikings, let's win this game.
Attention Vikings fans, an explosion of updates straight out of Minnesota. The Purple Wall takes another hit with a serious injury to a vital piece of the offensive line, but hold on, because the offense found a new path on the ground and unlocked a secret playbook that could define the entire season. But that's not all. The defense lit up the field with a historic performance that will echo for years, while the star of the offense showed unexpected grit and silenced critics with pure intensity. And to top it off, a statement from a player who lived a childhood dream in full purple reality. All of that and more you're going to hear right now. Welcome. Show your Vikings pride with a like and a comment. The fans' excitement was still sky high after that historic beatdown of the Cincinnati Bengals, 48-10, when a bombshell dropped in Minnesota. First-round rookie left guard Donovan Jackson is out for at least 1 month. That's right, the kid who came in to breathe new life into the offensive line, who even played hurt against the Bengals, now had to undergo wrist surgery. And you know what hurts even more? He was already becoming a key piece, even with so little experience. Now the burning question is, can the line hold strong through this European stretch coming up? Kevin O'Connell tried to calm things down, saying Jackson wasn't at risk of making the injury worse by playing, but the procedure was unavoidable. Blake Brandel steps in, and while he's got backup experience, it's just not the same. We all know, offensive line is about chemistry, trust, rhythm. When you move one piece, the whole system wobbles. And right now, with the Steelers coming up in Dublin and the Browns in London right after, two teams that love to bring the heat on quarterbacks, the timing couldn't be tougher. Remember, this offensive line was supposed to be upgraded in the offseason. Big names arrived like Ryan Kelly and Will Fries, but bad luck struck early. Kelly already had a concussion and missed time. Christian Darrisaw, our star tackle, only got back in week 3. And now this blow with Jackson. It's a real concern because without 5 healthy starters, any offense is exposed. That's exactly what cost us against the Falcons, when J.J. McCarthy got hammered and ended up hurt. The good news is McCarthy is traveling with the team to Europe, a sign he could be back soon. Until then, Carson Wentz takes over. He handled business against the Bengals, throwing for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. But we all know you can't just wing it forever. Protection has to hold. And Vikings fans know the truth. Without a solid offensive line, there's no run game, no time for the quarterback to think, no rhythm at all. That massive win over Cincinnati can't hide this reality. The season is still young, but the team better stay sharp. Who would have thought, right? After years of fans begging for balance on offense, Kevin O'Connell finally showed that when the Vikings run the ball well, nobody can stop them. Against the Cincinnati Bengals, the switch flipped. 169 rushing yards, an impressive 5.5 yards per attempt. And it wasn't just pretty stats, it was dominance, clock control, suffocating the opponent until there was no doubt who owned the field. It felt like the team finally found the recipe it's been missing. The star of this story is Jordan Mason. Plenty of fans were skeptical when he came over from San Francisco in what looked like a small trade, but on Sunday he showed why he was a steal. 16 carries, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 7.3 per rush. That's not just solid, that's RB1 level dominance, the kind of performance that carries an entire offense. With Aaron Jones sidelined, Mason didn't just fill the gap, he made fans ask, is he the true engine O'Connell has been waiting for? And here's the twist. While the offense was rolling, the defense only had to slam the door shut. Isaiah Rodgers stole the spotlight with defensive scores, but the real security came from that balance. O'Connell, so often knocked for being too pass-happy, finally found harmony between pass and run. And when that happens, the result speaks for itself, 48-10. Now the big question is, can this formula last? A one-game show isn't enough. Fans are tired of empty promises of balance that never stick. In 2023, Alexander Mattison didn't deliver. In 2024, Aaron Jones gave a small boost, but nothing that changed the DNA. So is 2025 finally the year Jordan Mason gives this team a ground game identity? The San Francisco media already regrets letting him go for so little. Meanwhile, the Vikings are reaping the benefits. The next test is against the Steelers, a defense that doesn't exactly scare against the run. Will O'Connell stick to this blueprint or fall back into his old habit of throwing too much? The next headline is already etched in fans' hearts. Some days feel like they're scripted for the history books, and Sunday was exactly that for Isaiah Rodgers. The cornerback that so many still doubted exploded and pulled off something never before seen in NFL history. A pick six, a fumble recovery for a touchdown, another forced fumble, 3 tackles, 2 passes defended. It was one of those games that make fans think, Are we witnessing a new star in purple? And if the answer is yes, brace yourselves, because the impact could be massive. Rodgers arrived as a gamble. Drafted by Indianapolis, he battled a major injury, carried the baggage of a suspension for the league's gambling policy. To many, he was just another name for depth, but Brian Flores believed. The defensive coordinator pushed hard for his signing and convinced Kevin O'Connell he could be a difference maker. And what we saw against the Bengals was exactly that vision coming to life. Rodgers became the first player in league history to force 2 fumbles and return both a fumble and an interception for touchdowns in the same game. Unreal. And it's not just about stats. The psychological impact on the opponent is devastating. Imagine Joe Burrow and company trying to catch their breath, only to see the Vikings defense not just hold, but score. It's the ultimate message fans dream of. Here in Minnesota, even the defense puts points on the board. Rodgers walked off to a standing ovation, and it felt like we just witnessed a chapter fans will remember for years. Here's the strategic angle. If Rodgers truly locks in alongside Byron Murphy Jr., the Vikings suddenly have a corner duo that gives Flores complete freedom to unleash his aggressive scheme. Relentless pressure, turnovers, and above all, confidence to face any offense. In a season where the O-line is banged up and the offense is searching for stability without McCarthy, the defense could be the true game changer. Rodgers said after the game, "I knew my time would come, whether in year 6 or year 10. Today was just the beginning." For someone who's been through highs and lows, that line feels like a promise. The fans are already all in. And if this is the new normal for Isaiah Rodgers, watch out, NFL. The purple wall just found a new face. On to the next statement. Justin Jefferson is one of those players who doesn't need monster numbers to change a game. Against the Bengals, it was just 5 catches for 75 yards, but anyone watching knows his impact went way beyond the stat sheet. He created space, laid down blocks, boosted Carson Wentz's confidence, and proved that even without J.J. McCarthy, the Vikings still have a tone setter on offense. Jefferson doesn't just catch passes, he commands respect, draws double teams, and on Sunday, he made it a point to flex his physicality blocking like a lineman. Plenty of people don't expect a star wide receiver to throw his body into blocks, but Jefferson said after the game, "People look at me and don't expect me to be this physical, but I like that style. Every opportunity matters." That mentality spreads across the roster. Jordan Mason, who popped off for 116 rushing yards, silently thanked every gap Jefferson created. And Wentz, in his first start, benefited directly from the attention defenses gave to number 18. The best part was hearing Carson Wentz describe him. He wants to win. Doesn't matter if it's 10 catches or a block downfield, he's going to do everything to help. Coming from a veteran quarterback who shared huddles with top names, that's not just a compliment, it's a stamp of greatness. It means Jefferson has reached that legendary tier where talent meets a competitive fire that changes entire locker rooms. And here's the strategic takeaway. Even without big numbers, Jefferson is still the heartbeat of this offense. He forces defenses to adjust, reshapes coverage schemes, and inspires his teammates to grind on every snap. The season is long, and if the Vikings want to go far, Jefferson has to be more than WR1. He has to be the leader who keeps this team locked in through tough stretches. The fans get it. Social media buzzed with takes like, "It wasn't Jefferson's biggest yardage game, but it was one of his most important." That perspective fuels hope, because when your superstar sacrifices for the team, everyone around him levels up. The Vikings need that warrior version of Jefferson to keep charging ahead. And the game was even more special for one player. Carson Wentz lived a dream that once felt impossible. The kid from Bismarck, North Dakota, who grew up cheering for the Vikings, finally wore purple and gold and led his childhood team at US Bank Stadium. And it wasn't just any debut, it was a historic demolition, 48-10 over the Bengals, with the crowd roaring at every step he took. Wentz admitted afterward, "It was a rush of emotions, but I managed to channel it and have a blast." Tell me, Vikings fans, doesn't that sound like a movie scene? Right from the opening drive, he proved he wasn't just a placeholder. 6 plays, 64 yards, capped by a 12-yard touchdown strike to Josh Oliver. That set the tone. And he kept it rolling. 14 completions on 20 attempts, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, only 3 sacks. Clean, confident, fully aware of what it meant to be out there. Even Kevin O'Connell said it was almost an out-of-body experience for Wentz, winning a game here as a lifelong Vikings fan. And the symbolism runs deep. US Bank Stadium had already marked Wentz's career back in 2018 when he watched the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl from the sidelines, sidelined by a devastating ACL tear. That was the wound that changed his story. Now, in the same building, he wrote a brand new chapter, this time as the main character. Wentz's career has always been a roller coaster. Number 2 pick, MVP candidate, then injuries, trades, highs and lows that turned him into an NFL journeyman. To the point that now he holds a unique record, the first quarterback to start for 6 different teams in 6 consecutive seasons. Colts, Commanders, Rams, Chiefs, Eagles, and now Vikings. A resume that once symbolized instability turned into redemption on Sunday. Of course, nobody forgets, J.J. McCarthy is the franchise's future, and Wentz knows his role is to hold down the fort while the kid heals his ankle. But come on, fans, seeing someone who grew up bleeding purple live out that dream on the field is special. And now, with a trip to Dublin on deck, Wentz gets another chance to prove this fairy tale can keep rolling. What a wild ride it's been. From injuries testing our strength to breakout stars reigniting hope, from Rodgers' historic fireworks to Jefferson's silent leadership, capped by Wentz's dream-come-true debut. It all shows this team isn't just about flashy wins, it's about grit, redemption, and stories that inspire. That's what makes being a Vikings fan so unique. But none of this matters without you, the heartbeat of this franchise. Now it's your turn to back the team, question, and debate, because this journey is only getting started. Which story hit you the hardest, and what moves do you think this team still needs to make? Drop a comment, share this video, and hit that subscribe button for all the latest Vikings updates. Stay tuned. SKOL Vikings, let's go!